I'm Michael from ETS, and welcome to Inside the TOEFL Test. Today, we're going inside the speaking section, specifically questions 3 and 5, the integrated speaking questions about campus situations. So in the next few minutes, we're going to look at how the questions are structured and what they're asking, how to approach the questions, how your responses are scored. We'll look at a sample response that received a high score, and we'll give you some tips for improving your speaking skills. So here is generally what the questions will look like and how they're structured. In question 3, you will read a passage about a campus-related topic. Then you will listen to a response to that topic. Then you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak your answer. For question 5, you listen to part of a conversation, then you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak your answer. Now let's look more closely at what these campus situations questions look like and what they will be asking you to do. For question 3, where you have both reading and listening passages, you will be asked what the opinion is of a speaker in the listening passage. And you'll need to explain how that person's opinion relates to the issues presented in the reading passage. So you're essentially summarizing and combining information from two sources. Here's an example of this type of question. This one is about the student government's decision to buy a new sound system.
What else is there to do on campus?
What do you mean?
I mean, there isn't much to do on campus besides go to the movies. If there were other forms of recreation or other social activities, I don't think most students would have said that going to the movies was their first choice.
The man expresses his opinion of the Student Association's recent purchase. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion.
For question 5, where the listening passage is a conversation about a campus problem and one or more solutions, you will need to describe the problem and then give your opinion about what the solution should be. Here's the example of question 5 about tutors and study groups.
Another option, I guess, is to form a study group with other students. That won't cost you any money.
That's a thought. Although once I was in a study group, and it was a big waste of time. We usually ended up talking about other stuff, like what we did over the weekend.
But that was for a different class, right? I've actually had some pretty good experiences with study groups. Usually students in the same class have different strengths and weaknesses with the material. If they're serious about studying, they can really help each other out. Think about it.
Briefly summarize the problem the speakers are discussing, then state which solution you would recommend. Explain the reasons for your recommendation.
Now here are some tips for how to approach these kinds of speaking questions. Number 1, be careful not to speak too quickly, because this might make it difficult for the reader to understand you. The questions are designed so that if you speak at a normal pace, you will have enough time to give a complete response. And you'll get better at this if you time yourself when you practice. Number 2, in question 3, where you have the reading passage, then the conversation between two speakers, listen carefully to the speaker's reasons for agreeing or disagreeing with points made in the reading. Then make sure you summarize the opinion of the speaker in your answer. Number 3, for question 5, as you listen, focus on identifying and understanding what the problem and possible solutions are, and then write down a few key words or ideas on your scratch paper. But remember, you need to do more than summarize in your response. You also need to give your opinion. So don't spend too much time summarizing. Use most of your time explaining why it is the best solution. Before the test, make sure you understand what the raters are looking for and how the questions are scored. In the speaking section, all 6 responses are scored on a scale from 0 to 4. And they're scored holistically, which means that the raters listen for various features in your response and then give it an overall score. Although there are some variations depending on the question, raters will be looking for 3 main things. First, delivery. Your speech needs to be clear and fluid, with good pronunciation. The pace or speed of your speech should be natural, and you should have good-sounding intonation patterns. Second, language use. This is mainly how you use grammar and vocabulary to express your ideas. And third, topic development. This is mainly how fully you answer the question, how clearly you express your ideas, and how you can connect one idea to the next in a way that is easy to follow. Now let's listen to an example of a speaking response that received a score of 3 on a 4-point scale. This one is responding to question 5 about tutors and study groups.
The man has a problem that he takes a calculus class, but he does not do well in the calculus, so he's worried about the final. There are two possible solutions, and the first one is get the tutoring program, and the second solution is to form a study group. I think that the second solution is better than the first one for several reasons. First reason is that study group does not need money, but still get help. Also, students in the study group take the same class, so they can explain each other what the lecturer said about. Finally, if students concentrate on the study group, they can improve their grades at final exam because they can talk about the class content.
Now let's look at this response in terms of our 3 main criteria: delivery, language use, and topic development. First, delivery. The speaker is generally easy to understand, with good pronunciation and pacing, so she gets a good score for delivery.
He does not do well in the calculus, so he's worried about the final. The other two.
But language use is another story. We can't give this response a 4 out of 4, mainly because of her imprecise use of language. One example is when she says this:
Study group does not need money, but still get help. Also,
this could have been much more precise by saying, for example, students can get help from a study group without spending money.
they can explain each other.
Topic development is actually quite good in this response. She communicates the important information in a clear and coherent way by stating the man's problem and efficiently summarizing the 2 proposed solutions.
I think that the second solution is better than the first one for several reasons. First reason.
And she explains the reasons for her preference in terms of the advantages of study groups. Basically, that they are both free and helpful. So overall, this meets all the criteria for a score of 3 out of 4. For more details about how the integrated speaking responses are scored, see the speaking scoring guides on the TOEFL website. Now here are some activities that can help you build your skills for the integrated speaking tasks, especially numbers 3 and 5 about campus situations. 1. Find an online newspaper from an English-speaking university. This will be a good source of practice topics for questions 3 and 5. Look for topics like admissions, housing, student activities, registering for classes, school improvement plans, sports, and more. Then choose an article to discuss with your speaking partner or study group. 2. Record yourself when you practice and listen to how you speak. When you listen to yourself, you'll be able to hear some of your mistakes, as well as your tone and pacing. 3. Find listening and reading material that are both about the same topic. The material can contain similar or different views. Then prepare an outline of a 1-minute response that includes your opinion, 2 points to support your opinion, and 1 detail or reason to support each point. 4. Practice improving your fluency. So take that 1-minute presentation and deliver it a few times. And each time, try to improve it a little bit. Smooth out your phrasing. Use different wording for the same ideas. Avoid unnecessary pauses. Use transition words. Those kinds of things. There are lots of ways to improve your English skills. Whatever you do, keep practicing. And good luck on your TOEFL test.